Damn, my soul, my goodness. There we go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday. It's Monday, June the 7th, 2021, the year of our Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank each one of you for logging in this evening. Dr. Azor, you've been missed. You've been missed. Third time. You know how we play baseball here. Third strike, you out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we live. Those of you already logged in, I'd like to give kudos to you. I'd like to give kudos to Dr. Azor from the great state of Georgia, who was a loyal fan. And if there's a prize to win here at the Robert DeVerney Show, Dr. Azor, hands down, will be the ultimate winner. Mr. Ambrose Odelson, we miss you, brother. Well, okay, we back live, we online, and call your friend. Let them know the Robert DeVerney Show is live. If it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert DeVerney Show. As you know, every so often, we need to keep our pencils sharp. The Robert DeVerney Show has been away for 2 weeks, and you know you guys were dearly missed. And we thank you for coming back. Those of you, I miss you. I miss you miserably. Last Monday, I didn't know what to do. It was 8 p.m. I was wondering, what do I do? Would my loyal friend will be logging in? Because I did tell them, hey, we're not going to be on that Monday. So you were in my mind, so that's for sure. But guess what? We're here tonight. We're gonna make up for what we missed last Monday, of course. And I'd like to take this time to wish all my graduates. Those of you who have earned your diploma, the sleepless night, your efforts, your waking up in the morning, your exam, your staying up late to turning assignment, well, it has paid off. Well, on behalf of the Robert DeVerney Show and the entire staff here at the Robert DeVerney Show, we'd like to extend our gratitude and our warm wishes to you for making it thus far. Those of you who are also in the education field, the likes of Dr. Azor, the like of Mr. Ambrose Odelson from the great state of Florida, we thank you for your effort, for always have a heart to give, always have a heart to teach. And then those students were able to graduate because of the effort that you've put in. The Robert DeVerney Show salutes you and keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Well, here we go. Well, tonight what we have on the deck here for you is, as you may have known, that there's been a lot of things, and of course, your son really had but congratulations to Christian Azor from the great state of Georgia, who graduated with honor from the great state of Georgia. We salute you. We salute the Azor family for putting so much into the son. He's the man that he is after God because of his parents. Again, Dr. Azor, Mr. Azor from the great state of Georgia, congratulations. And those of you who have kids who may have graduated as well, I'd like you to let me know so I can give them a shout out, because of the Robert DeVerney Show, this is one show where we applaud accomplishment, where we applaud the greatness. I mean, those kids went through a lot. They have to deal with COVID on a regular basis, and for them to stay above the fray, the politics that's going on, the vaccine, and then for them to stay focused, laser focused on top of it, that speaks volume. And kudos to all your parents. Your hard work have paid off. Okay, now the news I have for you tonight, I'm going to delve into the propaganda of history. Before I get into that, there's just a ruling just came in. Those of you who may have some interest in immigration, as you know, the Robert DeVerney Show, everything that we do is altruistic motive. And what we do at the Robert DeVerney Show is to promote awareness with issues that affect us regularly, the Voting Rights Act, elections, things that affect us. But also, of course, we may have one or two family members who may try to come here or who are already here. There has been a ruling from the Supreme Court just this afternoon. As you know, today, it's no coincidence that Vice President Harris is in Guatemala, down there in South America. They are trying to curb the flow of migrants coming through the border. And this is a perilous voyage on their part, and there's a lot of smuggling, and you name it, and God knows what goes on over there. But the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled this afternoon that if any immigrants, I'm going to break it down, but Justice Elena Kagan vote for the court that the federal immigration law prohibits people who enter the country illegally and have temporary protected status, known as TPS, from seeking green cards to remain in the country permanently. So what does that mean in a nutshell? Is that if you have come in the United States illegally, now and were not inspected. So the key word here, inspection. So in other words, you could have come here illegally, yet you went under the radar. They didn't know that you were here, and then fortunately, with the recent TPS that the Biden administration has just enacted for any Haitians who were here prior to May 21st, they could easily participate. So that's all fine and dandy. But let's say you enjoy the 18 months extension. However, let's say if you are to marry your significant others, or if you have a child in the United States who become 21 and able to apply for you, and you would not be granting your green card because you were not inspected. So not the fact that you got here illegally, but you were not inspected. That's the second phase of it. Well, what do the Robert DuVernay Show about this? What do we know, and what is our interpretation of this ruling? Put it this way: United States has always been a country of laws, and that's what we call the United States of America. They are united. So at the federal level, whenever we have issues of this magnitude, someone entered the United States illegally, yet you could have entered the United States illegally because of fear of persecution, fear of being killed. It could be any other issues, because yet when you get to the border, that border could be through sea, through air, but you are inspected by a U.S. custom agent, all right, CBP, Custom Border Patrol. So once you've been inspected by one of these agents, whether or not you came here with a passport that did not belong to you, you happen to have somebody else's passport by accident, because I'm sure everybody has good intent here, but we're not going to second guess anyone. But in that case, they seize that passport, and then you are able to identify yourself as who you really are. And at this point, you've been inspected. Your fingerprints are taken, then you've been processed, and sometimes you may be held out of the detention until they hear your case before a magistrate. So as this unfolds, you maintain they give you a status. So technically, we know that you're here. You know that you may have some type of persecution that led you to flee your homeland. So at that time, you are inspected, and it gave you a status. That makes you illegal in the country. Now, what makes you illegal and not inspected is when you came here and then you've been flying under the radar. So in other words, everything that you've done is under the books. You're cooking the books, and no one knows that you're here. And then all of a sudden, you just pop up out of nowhere and say, well, I've been here for 20 years. But how did you get here? So this is what they're referring to. So I always tell my people to be knowledgeable of what's going on, not just get here, but then again, let the United States know that why you're here and under what circumstances, and then let the system play itself out. So those of you who may have TPS, if you have some family members, friends, co-workers, church members, if they were not inspected, that's keyword here is inspected. Inspected, I cannot emphasize that anymore. Inspected. So they want to know that you got here, and then once you were inspected, then you'll be able to get your green card. If you're not inspected, regardless you have TPS or not, although it's temporary protected status, you would not be able to adjust your status to get your green card. I hope I cleared this up for you. If you have any questions, please feel free. And I thought I'll let my viewers, my loyal viewers, know of the difference between being inspected and illegally being in the country. Thank you very much, those of you who are logged in. We already 10 minutes into the show here. I'd like to encourage you again to call your fellow friends, your church members, your friends. Let them know the Robert Vernon Show is live. All right, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. I miss you guys. I miss you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, yes. Dr. Azo just pointed out. Yeah, it was a unanimous decision. Yeah, but you know what, Dr. Azo, with all due respect, as you pointed out, it was a unanimous decision because it is a country of law. The law is a law. And although this is not what we want, but otherwise we will have a lawless country. So United States has always been generous to all of us, and this is a country that we all admire, we all love. But then again, if there's law in the books, that must be enforced, and I understand that, and I'm glad you share that with the audience as well. It was a unanimous vote from the Supreme Court, and so it's the rule of law. The rule of law must rule. Otherwise, we have a country upside down. Okay, thank you very much. Another topic that's going around lately is, of course, the Voting Rights Act. The Voting Rights Act, there's a bill in the Senate right now called, it's actually in the House, H.R. 1, which is to strengthen the Voting Rights Act. I mean, to me, it's baffled me a little bit because we're in 2021. I mean, we have so-called senators, so-called representatives who try to do away with the system. Well, the reason why this is coming up again, and there was provision in place back in 2013 after the election of President Obama. A lot of these states and the southern states, particularly the lack of the Alabama, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, of course, my home state, they went to a panic mode. When they saw the first African American elected office, they said, well, we can't have this. There's no way. We're losing our country. So when we hear these words, losing our country, we need freedom. Freedom from what? I mean, we're not being invaded by some third world country or by Russia, by any major power, the likes of China. So when I'm hearing things like that, it has a different connotation. And at the Robert Vernon Show, we hope that our audience don't just fall for what you hear. So always look for the meanings behind what's been said. Okay, just like Jesus, when Jesus, I'm gonna open this up and close it right immediately. When Jesus always spoke in parable, so I mean, he was talking to a group of people. Okay, so people speaking code. So when I guess the same thing when we talk about freedom. I mean, in America, freedom from, I mean, we are the superpower, the greatest nation on Earth, on planet Earth. We're talking about we need your freedom from a mask. I mean, the connotation here doesn't rhyme with the song they're singing. I mean, they need to just sing a different tune. That's what I'm bringing to the fore. I want you to get involved here. And all right, Joel Godot from the great city of Pembroke Pines / Hollywood Live. And Monsieur le Français, Monsieur Joel Godot, merci d'être présent ce soir. Merci d'être à l'écoute ce soir. Yes, so with all due respect, we need to keep these politicians, these state officials, to the ground. So the state of Georgia has recently gutted out the Voting Rights Act. So they make it more difficult for people to vote. And then now, if you look at where these things are happening, this is see, I'm going to throw something at it. Tell me if this is happening in Wisconsin. No. Tell me if this is happening in North Dakota, Alaska, Nebraska. All these are Republican states. Don't get me wrong. Those are guaranteed. I mean, these cannot be red, then blood. So, as you could see, the shift that's happening right now are states that tend to move. They kind of purple. When you put blue and red, you get purple, right? All right. So this is what's happening. Well, these guys, they're putting legislation in place And then all these things is happening at the state level. What I want my audience to understand is that whenever you see these type of activities happening, these changes in the law, they all are happening at the state level. That's why I put it at the Robert DeVerney Show. We put a lot of emphasis on the state election, because these politicians that we vote in office at the state level, in the House of Representatives, and at the Senate chamber, these are the guys who turn around and make laws. And we cannot afford that. So what happened in Texas, what happened in Florida, so far since the 2020 election, 18 states, 18 out of 50. Those of you good at math, so we're left with 32, right? 18 out of 50 states already enacted legislation that's that strip voting rights to a sense that they're cutting hours. We used to have 12 hours a day. Okay, I'll give you a prime example. I live in the state of Florida. That I know that a thing or two so well because I'm involved in these kind of activities. So we used to have 12 hours a day. I mean, we have 2 weeks of early voting. Okay, now from 12 hours, they cut it to 8 hours. And now the 8 hours, ladies and gentlemen, it's not from 7 in the morning to 5 o'clock or to 4 o'clock. They're cutting it from 7 to 7. Now they're making it from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 p.m. Now, my people, you know a thing or two. Who are more likely to stand in the line and vote? That's a rhetorical question. Are the minorities? These are the folks, the janitors, the teachers, the security guard, the public servant. Those who have a dog in the fight. These are the people who actually, before they go to work in the morning, will cast the ballot. These are the people that we're trying to disenfranchise from voting. So that when you make it from 9 to 5, see, to me, what's the issue really? We should encourage people to partake in the system. The more people that are involved in the voting system, the greater our democracy will be. The diversity is great. The more, just like two brains is better than one brain. You don't want people who are aligned with your ideas on a regular basis. No. At the Robert DeVerney Show, I encourage my viewers to challenge me. Because oftentimes I challenge my viewers. I'll throw you a question and sometimes I want you to come back. And then that's what we want. We want our people to be engaged. So this show here, when I put it here on the platform, it wasn't so much so just for me to be looking pretty, looking good here behind the screen. I'm a good looking guy, but I'm not going to brag about it. But that's besides the point. But what's important is that our people would have the knowledge, the know-how when politicians give them a pacifier. I call it pacifier. They give you some type of a break, and maybe in the tax, during the school, 2 weeks, they give you like a free, what's called a tax-free week for anything that you purchase. I mean, come on, really? So what people want in reality, it's a say in the system. That's what matters. And oftentimes we settle too often. We should not settle for less. All right, let me take a couple questions here. All right, Dr. Izzo just said, if they cannot win it, they will steal it. We need to fight to make our voice heard, to show them that we are not going to the 60s. Good point, Dr. Izzo. If they cannot win it, they're going to steal it. So it is up to us, the people, to know that we've seen this game already. We've seen this movie already. We're not going to fall for it. So 18 states really, I mean, with all the issues that we're going through in America, Would you think it's time now for America to go on through these things? You know, think about it. We can't afford it. That's what we want from our people. So as the questions are coming in, I want you to keep bringing those questions because they're very important. They're very important. Thank you, Dr. Ezra, for pointing out that I look sharp tonight. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, so it is important that we keep those in mind, that we keep our political leaders accountable for their actions. So we need to do that, okay? So again, as we move on, we need to stay above the fray of these things, and then because we have to act and act now. All right, let's keep this politician to let's keep them honest. Okay, I got a couple questions coming through. I'm gonna have to answer those in a few via text. But again, please feel free to ask those questions, and because we're here for you. So my hope to you tonight is that you keep this focus in mind. Keep those questions coming, and then also contact your local leaders. I mean, let them know, you know what, it's not fair. It's not fair. Okay, so it's very important. Okay, sounds good. Well, it's already 8:30. If you don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, and we're going to meet with you again next Monday. Again, if it's Monday, if it's at PM, it's the Robert DuVernay Show. Always tell a friend what we do here. We're here to present the case, and then we let the people, the viewers, bring their views and also the questions, and then we can have a better discussion as we move forward. Again, thank you all of you who have logged in. Dr. Israel, as usual, thank you, Mr. Odilson. And okay, Dr. Israel just put a question here about the filibuster. Well, the filibusters was created just to we need to stop the talk. I mean, think about it. If we needed 60 votes, okay, for something to move on in the Senate. Now, the filibuster, really, if you eliminate it, really, we won't be able to do anything. I think they need to reduce that to 55, okay, or just a simple majority. I think if we have 51 senators who think that, hey, this is a good point, we should definitely move on. So I think the filibuster is here to stay because we don't want to do it, because if any party loses the Senate, the next party who comes in, they're gonna walk through you like there's no tomorrow. I think they can bring it down from they need 55 votes. And I think that the filibuster is not, it's not something that we as Americans should encourage, but I'm sure there are other means that we can go about our business and respectfully and hear what others have to say. And the filibuster is ridiculous. A guy can talk until he dropped dead in the Senate, just the bill doesn't move forward. I think there's got to be other means to curtail this whole thing. All right, thank you so much. All right, very good. Yes, it's very important, yeah, because those hours really are very critical. Thank you, Mr. Ambrose, for bringing this up. Thank you again. Again, it was a wonderful night. Thank you for your questions. We'll see you next time on Monday.